Hi, my name is Armin Morin, and welcome back to the BYOT traffic. In this particular session, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about free traffic and also low-cost traffic. Now, this happens to be one of the types of traffic that everyone talks about, but yet no one ever produces. It's really kind of one of those strange things that happens on the internet is everyone talks about free traffic, free traffic, free traffic. That's what I want. But very few people can actually produce free traffic. I'm going to describe and show you many different traffic techniques, a lot of them free and also a lot of them very inexpensive. And some of them are going to have a very unique spin and very unique twist as far as traffic goes and how to actually do it properly. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it and let's get going. So again, the topic, low cost and free traffic. So in this final session, we'll be covering low cost and free traffic techniques that you can utilize, and more importantly, you can utilize immediately. But just because it's free or low cost doesn't mean it's not effective. I just want to put an emphasis on that because some people do associate cost with being better, and that's not always the case. It is a lot, certainly, but it's not always the case. Just because something is low cost or free, especially when it comes to driving traffic to a website, does not mean it's less effective than other techniques. It simply means, well, it costs less. That's the bottom line. It doesn't mean that it's easy, though, because many techniques do take a little bit of learning in order to do. It's not that difficult. And the good news is that I'm going to walk you through these particular pieces and make you understand what these particular traffic techniques are. Once you understand them, you'll quickly see how powerful some of these strategies really are and how you can start implementing them immediately today. Now, let's just talk about traffic for a moment, because I think a lot of people, well, I guess you'd say they misunderstand traffic. And the idea of getting traffic is not a one strategy process. It's not a one strategy process. The one thing I get asked, I should say the one question that I get asked literally all over the world is, what's the best traffic technique? What's the best way to drive traffic to my website? How do you answer that? My simple answer is buy it. That's if you want the quickest and the shortest answer, just buy the traffic. I mean, there isn't one specific technique that is going to drive your entire business. And if it does, I'd be scared. I would be very scared, because if that one technique goes away, you are absolutely out of business. So don't be a one technique or one strategy type company. A few years back, a lot of toy companies were relying heavily on Google because they were indexed so well inside of Google, and then Google automatically pulled the plug. And they were no longer ranked where they were for literally over a decade. Well, at that moment, the reality kind of set in. And these toy companies literally lost billions of dollars just with really one flip of the switch from Google. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in that position ever, because it takes a while to get that traffic back after. You see, with traffic in general, it comes to a multiple type strategy. You have to use a little bit of everything. It's a combination of all the techniques that we're talking about, which drives the maximum traffic to a website. And yes, I said all, meaning as many of them that are appropriate for you as you possibly can. You have to do a little bit of everything. And at times, I will be 100% honest with you and say this. It's a daunting task at times. It seems like you're being pulled from every direction that you possibly can. And at first, it will seem confusing. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. And yes, you will be worried if you're doing it right. But you know what? The only way to do this is to actually just do it. That's the only way to overcome those insecurities that you may have. Once you do it once, once you do it twice, once you do it 3 times, it starts to become easier and easier and easier. And you will just immediately jump in. When I look at, for example, Facebook, when I look at Bing, especially when they make changes, honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. But I have to get over that in order to figure it out, not only so I can share with you, but because I want to get the results from my own driving traffic strategies to get the traffic to my website. So I have to figure it out, and I want to figure it out quick. And just like you, I don't want to waste money in the process doing it. So it's just a matter of understanding how the traffic works and really how it's going to benefit you. Once you understand the basic overall concept, then everything else is easy. And at this point in the sessions is that you understand a great deal more than you possibly ever would, simply because you've been exposed to a lot of different ideas. And if you've tried to implement any of those ideas, you'll very quickly realize that many of the techniques use the same strategy. PPC traffic, basically all PPC companies work the same way. PTC traffic, pay-to-click traffic, basically all of them work the same way. And any other traffic strategy that we've covered, once you learn one, the rest of them are really easy. So you don't have to worry about it so much. So let's start off with some basic ideas. And the way we're going to divide our time in this session is we're going to talk about the ideas first, and then we're going to go over each one of the individual ideas, and then we're going to go online and show you the implementation of these various ideas and how it can work and how you can expand it. And then we're going to show you the BYO traffic side of it, meaning how can we expand that idea? How can we scale it? Where can we find more of that? If we find a good thing, we want to expand it as much as we possibly can in order to give us more choices. And a lot of that expansion will cause us to find places that aren't any good. That is true. But also a lot of that expansion will find places that we never even thought to advertise in, but yet we found it just by looking for it in the right way. So we're going to start off with the ideas, and then we're going to go online, and we're going to take a look at how we can do it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about expanding it, basically the BYO traffic idea itself. So the ideas that we have, number one, article directories. This is probably one of the most popular ideas. In fact, it used to be a lot more popular several years ago, but there's been a lot of changes that have been made. But there's still great article directories out there that we can utilize. The idea of guest blogging. Now, oddly enough, this is a free traffic idea, but at the same time, it's also easy. It's really, really simple, but it's also more effective. But also, I hate having to say also again and again and again, but it's so appropriate because on top of the first two things I said, what guest blogging allows you to do is expand your audience. Expand your audience, and we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But that expansion of your audience is where you get a lot of new sales and you get a lot of new followers. And I'll explain more about that in just a few minutes. Next is forum marketing. Now, this can be good and it also can be bad. Now, when I say forums, I'm referring to message boards. Forums, there's a lot of them on the internet. There's groups on the internet. There's a multitude of different places that we can utilize forum marketing, and there's multiple ways to do it. But what a lot of people think of when I mention the word forum marketing, or anyone mentions the word forum marketing, and probably what you've heard in the past, has been basically a really nice way of spamming, because that's what a lot of people have taught in the past, is basically become a member of a forum and start posting your stuff. And eventually people will see it. That's not the way you do it. That's not the way you do it at all. There's a much more subtle way that will get you great results. And there's also another way where we can really amp up the type of traffic that we're getting with forum marketing if we do it right. And I'll explain that. Blogging. Now, this is strange. And let me explain why I say it's strange. Everyone knows about blogging. Many people claim to do it. But the fact is with blogging, most people do it ineffectively. They screw it up, and they screw it up royally. And the reason why is because they were just never taught how to do it the right way. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'll be the first one to fess up, that I am not a very consistent blogger. We do post articles, but the fact is I'm not very consistent about it personally. But at the same time, everything that I post ranks extremely well. And that's because there's a science behind blogging. And if you understand that science and that algorithm behind blogging, you will rank extremely well. You will get a lot of free traffic, and you'll be able to direct that traffic anywhere you want to. Do it wrong, and you will basically be blogging for nothing, and you could be doing it for years. So blogging is very interesting, very popular, but at the same time, most people don't know how to do it properly. And so we'll explain to you exactly how to do it, and more importantly, how to get the most out of doing it. Next is classifieds. Classifieds, well, there's not really a lot to say. They're simple. They're easy. You go to a site, you post an ad. Sometimes you pay for it, sometimes you don't. And when you post that ad, people see it, and hopefully someone clicks on it. Now, with classifieds themselves, they're interesting because there's a lot of them that exist, and we'll give you some ideas of a few in order to get you started. But there's a ton of online classified sites that we can really get into and target and start bringing traffic to our website. And it's not that you have to understand the whole concept of classifieds. With classifieds, it's just a matter of finding the right places to post, because after you've done it once or twice, my biggest suggestion for you to do is simply have someone else do it. If you have someone else do it, you can take that monotony out of it and kind of move on with your life. If you don't have someone else do it, well, you're going to get sick of posting classifieds, because we're talking not just, well, there's 10 places or 20 places. We're talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of places. I mean, I don't even know how many places there are in total advertising on the internet. I know there's a lot of great places. I also know there's a lot of bad ones too. But there's still thousands upon thousands of great places to post your classifieds. Another idea, and this is a paid strategy, is what I call link shortener sites. Link shortener sites is a low-cost traffic strategy, very powerful, very easy, very simple to do in most cases, and we'll be covering that as well as a couple other techniques. There's two big techniques which I'll save for the end as far as explaining to you what they are and how they work, and we'll simply go right into it because I think it has a lot to do with your success by knowing these two other ideas that we're going to be covering a little bit later on. So let's start off, and we're going to start off with article directories. Article directories themselves are very simple. You go to a site, you create an account, you submit your article. That's the basic bottom line. There's not really a lot of technical secrets behind doing that. As you go and you create your account, you name yourself anything you want to, you log into your account, you write an article, post it. Sometimes they let you tag it. And then you leave it alone. Have a great day. And because that site, that article directory has so much traffic, hopefully your article will rank well, and then ultimately people will come to your website. So there's some places that you can go in order to get these. Our eZine Articles is probably by far the biggest article directory that's out there. It's been around for years and years and years. It's still called eZine Articles, and the reason why it's called eZine Articles is because it was originally all about newsletters, and that was the whole idea behind it, was people posting articles for newsletter content. But since then, it's changed into a full-fledged article directory, and it's one of the biggest, one of the best. I definitely recommend that you have an account on eZine Articles and post articles there, because there's a very good chance you can get traffic from it. Number two is Hub Pages, which works on a very similar concept, except for the fact that it's creating pages. You're curating, or you're making pages on specific topics that you basically take care of. You can post your own article there, and then when people comment, you respond to the comments. And so you're creating a little space on Hub Pages, which is entirely yours. Another article directory is called Super Articles, SOOPER. Works very much like eZine Articles, not a lot of difference. Create an account, and then you submit it. And we'll take a look at that as well. Next is Squidoo. Squidoo is a site that's very, very popular on the internet, very similar to Hub Pages. And what you do is you basically create what they call a lens, and you take care of that lens, and you can post an article, and you can post additional content, you can post videos, and many people claim that they can get very good rankings on those particular pages. I'm not in it for the rankings. What I'm really in it as far as the traffic. I want traffic coming to my back to my website. I don't want my Squidoo lens to get ranked and not bring me traffic. I want to get ranked and then redirect that traffic back to my website. So that's the basic Squidoo technique. And then there's Technorati. Technorati is a blog search engine. Basically, just by becoming a member of it, you can gain some benefit of it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, and we'll go there and just so you can see how it works. But next, the next item on our list is something called guest blogging. It's really simple and it's really easy. You go to Google or you go to Bing or you go to whatever your favorite search engine is. You find blogs that are in your niche. And then contact the owner and offer your article as a guest post. So simply offer your article and offer to guest post or guest blog on their website. But you have to make the offer. The key to making that strategy work is two things, really. Number one, finding blogs in your niche, which takes a little bit of time, not that much, but certainly a little bit. Number two, making the offer. That's the second piece. Is you can find all the blogs you want, but if you're not contacting each individual owner, well, you're not doing yourself any good. All they can say is no. That's it. You know, when I sold vacuum cleaners going door to door, every once in a while, one of the reps that was working with me used to look at a house and say, they're never going to buy. They're never going to buy. They're never going to buy, before they even walked in the home. And my response was very simple, and it was someone told me, it was what someone told me when I first got started as well, and because I did the exact same thing. And I used to tell them, well, just go up to the house and get your no. That was the bottom line. Always get your no. This way you know for sure what the answer is going to be. So make the offers and don't worry about if they say no or not. Who cares? It's just an email. One of the other ways that you can get an owner to say yes, a blog owner to say yes, is to offer an exchange. 1 for 1, meaning, I'll tell you what, why don't we swap? I'll write a guest post for your blog. You write a guest post for my blog. I mean, that's fair. You're getting great content on your blog. They're getting great content on their blog, and everyone wins. And it might be just enough to turn the edge to get them to allow you to post to theirs. Now, I had mentioned this idea about guest blogging and how to really get it out there so you can reach that expanded group of people. And again, the expansion is the key. And let me give you an example. You can write to your blog all you want. And yeah, you're going to get some people that are new, but you're also going to get a lot of people that know you already. So the only thing that you can do with those people is really market something to them that's new, that you just created. That's one aspect. Number two, sell them one of the other products they haven't purchased yet. I mean, that's the other option. But one of the easier things to do is to try to bring new, fresh blood in through the door. And so when you have a blog itself, many of the people coming to there already know you. But if you guest post on another person's blog, you're going to reach a percentage of people that don't know you. And if they like what they see, if they like what they read, they're going to come back to your site, and you're going to be able to market to them, hopefully, by capturing their name and email address at some point in time. So guest blogging can really expand the idea in the area which you cover as a business and as a marketer. And it's just a matter of making the offers. So again, you have to go out and simply make offers. Not a single offer, but multiple offers. The key is multiple offers. That's what we're looking for. That's what you're looking for on this as well, too. And the key is it's a numbers game. It's all a numbers game. You just have to go out, make the offer, and either get a yes or get a no. If you get a yes, great. If you need incentive in order to get them to say yes, offer a one-on-one exchange. That works awesome. Works fantastic. Next is forum marketing part 1. Now, if you notice, I wrote part 1. Therefore, if there's a part 1, there must be a what? A part 2 that is correct. So the way forum marketing works is relatively simple. We find a forum in your specific niche. Then what you do is you go to Google and you type in your keyword or keyword phrase, and then you type in plus forum or message board. So for example, if I was looking for a real estate market, I would type in real estate and forum, or real estate message board, or real estate message boards. That would be another variation of that. And then it would give me a list of all the message boards or forums that are existing for real estate. Now, a lot of people always ask, well, what's the difference between a message board and a forum? Nothing. There's absolutely nothing different about it. It's just some people call it a forum, some people call it a message board. It really depends. I think forum a lot of times is old school. But the fact is that you just have to type both in order to find all the ones that you really want. What you do after you've done that and found several forums that you like, you create an account on that forum and you add your SIG file. Now, when I say SIG file, I'm referring to your signature file. Your signature file. Now, your signature file is what would go at the end of every single one of your posts. Meaning that if you ever received an email from me, it always ends the exact same way. Best of success, Armin Morin. And then typically the link I want you to click on. That's in every email that I send out all the time, every single time. That is my so-called SIG file, meaning it's consistent in every message that goes out. So in most message boards or forums, there's a place where you can create your SIG file. And then at that moment, when you post something, it automatically displays that SIG file to whoever's reading that individual post. So it's a way for you to advertise some things very, very subtly. It's not very difficult. But also one of the things that you can do inside that forum once you become a member is to offer help. Give other people help. By giving other people help, you become a wanted commodity. You become known. In fact, many times you become the expert. And becoming the expert is a good thing when it comes to a forum or a message board. Why? Because people turn to you for help. And then they want to know what else you have. Is there something that you have that they want? And they start looking you out. Offering help also creates you a name. In other words, it also creates you a brand as far as who you are, what kind of person you are, and the amount that you're willing to go to help another individual. Well, offer help. Not all the time, but every once in a while, if you feel you can help somebody, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But don't spam. Do not spam. I read a book not too long ago, and someone sent it for a review. And they wanted to get my testimonial on the book, and the majority of the book was great. I really enjoyed it, and actually I learned one or two things I didn't know before. And it was really a fairly decent book, except the fact that there was one particular process that I did not agree with. And basically what this individual said is join all these forums, message boards, and or Facebook groups or Yahoo groups. Once you become a member, then start posting your messages 3, 4, 5 times a day. That's spam. And it wasn't your message, it was your offer 3, 4, 5 times a day. And I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. You're so close. Because you don't have to spam. If you go in there with a legitimate intent that you want to be part of that community, help people out. Do what you can in order to help others. That's one great way to become known in a community very, very quickly. But by all means, be helpful. Now, part 2 is more my style. Part 2 of forum marketing are for the people that are just like me. I don't have time to help people, meaning I don't have time to go into a free board and spend a lot of time helping another person trying to figure out their problems. I do that for a lot of my students. I do that for myself. And therefore, I personally don't have a lot of time. But the question then is, how can I utilize forum marketing to my advantage if I don't have time to really do it in that fashion that we just went over? Well, part 2 works the exact same way. You simply go out and you find forums in your niche or your market, and you find the most popular posters. Once you're inside a forum or a message board, typically people wear the amount of times they've answered, responded, or communicated on that board like a badge of honor. They simply go out and they try to post as much as they can. Some of these people, I'm wondering if they have a life, if they ever leave their computer. I mean, I'm at my computer a lot, but some of these people have like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 responses to other posts and comments. I'm like, holy cow, that is a lot of posting. I don't know how they could do it. A couple times I had to break out a calculator because I didn't think it was humanly possible for people to actually be on that long and have that many posts. But they do. They do, and that's what they love, and that's nothing to fault them with. It's just that's what they love. And that's fantastic, in my opinion. But what you do is when these popular posters, once you find them, is you contact them, you message them. And what you're going to do is you're going to offer to rent their SIG file for 30 days. Rent their SIG file. Remember the part where I told you could put your website and everything else in that SIG file? Well, you're going to rent someone else's SIG file and offer them something small, $25, maybe for an average account, $50 maybe for a bigger account, but it's a 30-day deal, meaning that they're going to keep your ad in their SIG file for 30 straight days. And make it clear when you're contacting them that it's only your ad that you're paying for, meaning that if there are others that they want to promote, not during this 30 days. That's what we don't want to have happen. So in most systems, in most forums or message board systems, once a person changes their SIG file, all the previous posts are updated instantly. Now, let me explain. So let's say I go to someone with an offer, okay? And I find out that they have a huge number of posts. I go to them, I say, okay, I would like to rent your SIG file for 30 days. They may, think that's strange, but that's okay. And so I make an offer. We come to an agreeable term. And then what happens is that individual will replace their current SIG file with my SIG file, which is basically an ad to come to my website. Okay. Now, here's where the cool part happens. When they post their updated SIG file, not only do all their future posts that they make during that time frame have my SIG file in it, but also all of their previous posts. So if they posted, let's say 5,000 times previously, guess what? I get all that traffic instantly. So if they had 5,000 posts, and some of those are, of course, going to be ranked in the search engines, well, for those 30 days, whatever traffic and whoever sees that SIG file, they're going to click on that link and they're going to come to my website. So is that a worthy investment? Yes. Yes, if you can find, and there's plenty of people that have posted 3, 4, 5,000, some people even 10,000 times. If you can get one of those people to say yes, then you're golden, because you can buy that. And then if you get great results, repeat it. Offer, give them another $50 or $25, whatever the price point you want. At that moment, though, you have a very viable technique that anyone can do. It's easy, and you can literally get started in just a couple of minutes without really any special knowledge. And we'll go through an example of that in just a little bit. Next is blogging. Blogging. One of the things you have to understand is that everyone is talking about blogging. And the way they talk about blogging is simply writing posts. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to put all this great content out. And guess what? People are going to come flocking to me. No, that's probably not true. Probably not ever going to be true. So get that out of your head. But you have to do it the right way. There is a science to blogging. There is a science to blogging, just like there's a science to basically anything that you could possibly do. You have to know how to write the post properly in order to get the biggest bang for your buck. Now, this one strategy makes this work, well, almost instantly. In fact, the traffic that you'll be getting from this is going to be the most targeted traffic that you could possibly get. And here's the way it works. It starts with what you want to specifically rank for. You have to understand what you're trying to rank for. What type of person do you want to see this individual post? And that's going to be the key. So find the keyword phrase that you ultimately want to rank for. Now, not just one keyword phrase, multiple keyword phrases. How many? Well, it depends on how many posts you want. How many posts do you want to make? What we do is we go out and find these keyword phrases. And let's just say we start off with 10. And we're going to use those 10 over the course of the next 6 weeks. Fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that keyword phrase, and then we're going to start or end our blog post with that title phrase. We're going to start it with or end it with that title phrase. There's some common things that you guys can figure out just by looking at how Google works. Number one, what happens when a person searches for a phrase in Google? If you type in a phrase that contains even one word, it bolds it in the results. Number two, many times it even highlights it in the results. So the exact phrase is important because when people search for that phrase, you want your website to come up in the search engine results. Well, that's the simplest way that you could possibly ever do it, is to simply start or end your blog title with that specific phrase. That's the first thing that Google reads. Absolutely the first thing. In fact, the rest of your website can suck. The rest of your website can suck, but yet we can still make it work. So we're going to go over that in just a little bit, and I'll show you some examples, and we'll do some keyword research, and we'll show you exactly how that works. And the last one is online classifieds. Now, online classifieds are not complicated. I don't even think I really need to explain the concept. But online classifieds, you basically go to a page or a website and you post a little tiny classified. That's it. That's all you have to do is post a little tiny classified. Now, some of the places, I'm just going to throw them all up here on the screen for you guys, is like Craigslist.com, probably one of the most popular classified sites on the internet, classifiedforyou.biz, classifiedforfree.net, eonlineads.com, classifieds4free.net. Again, the difference between the two is that one has an S, one doesn't have an S. GetAdsOnline.com, FreeBestAds.com, I don't even know, rewebads.biz, okay. rewebads.biz. I would choose a different domain name if that was me. Classifieds4free.biz, freewebads.us, and usfreeads.com. usfreeads.com is actually one of the most popular advertising sites online as well too. So these sites are some good places to get started. I'll show you exactly how to find more, not very difficult. So what we're going to do now is simply start at the top and then go down through each individual one, and I'm going to tell you everything I know about those that particular strategy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to expand that individual strategy as well too. So ready? Here we go. Let's switch over. Okay, well, here we are. We're on the net, and what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some of the places that we talked about for each one of the strategies that we talked about. Number one, we talked about using articles. And let's just walk through the basic idea of using articles. So now, when you come to the site itself, if you don't have an account, you simply click up here in the right-hand corner, click on Join. It's going to ask you for some basic information. And then what you would do is just hit Submit and create your account. It's fairly basic. And then once inside, you would simply submit your article. Not that difficult. But let's take a look at the individual article as far as what it is, because there's some important pieces. And many of these people will show you an example of what this is, how to do it the proper way. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to click through a couple of different people here. Let's just see. Let's take this one, integrating social media with traditional marketing. Now, I have no idea who this particular person is, but we're going to take a look at their site and see exactly what they have here. So let's take a look at the end right here. Max Kohan, I guess, is a professional web designer in Dubai working for a leading graphic design company in the Middle East at Puzzleworks Design. He has the experience to offer advice on successful social media strategies. Now, what is the link? Well, the link would go to, in this case, Max's website. Now, this is how you get people back to your website. Many people will call this last couple lines essentially a Johnson box. And this is where the author information would typically go, how people can get a hold of you more. And you'd basically end every single one of your articles with something that leads people back. Now, this particular person just put a link to their website. what I would do is think of what you could give away free. And I would maybe start the same way that this particular individual did. You know, this is who this person is, and then put a link to something free, and sign up for Max's free ebook on how to create great website design, as an example. I don't know what he does. I'm just throwing that out there. Or in this case, I guess he's talking about social media, on the 10 deadly sins of social media, and then put a link directly to the free report. So this, when people leave the actual eZine site, they would go to an opt-in page, and you would actually get their name and email address. So every article that you submit should definitely be a way for you to create more of an opt-in strategy. Does that make sense? So think of each article almost like an opt-in, let's call it a pre-opt-in page. It sounds cool. A pre-opt-in page. So that would be something that we would want to focus in on. Let's go back. Let's look at another article from just someone else. We'll just choose someone random. Let's take this one, building relationships. Relationship building through commitments. Again, I've never seen this before, but here it is at the end. We have a link directly to their website. And if we clicked on that, that would take us directly to their website. Again, no offer. I think they're kind of crazy if they don't offer something for free. Let's see what else. Now let's take a look at this one. Thomas Frears is the person's name. And you must learn more about make money by website and other marketing through Thomas Frears online coaching. And then this person's promoting like 2 links. So he has like this whole paragraph down here that is just talking about his offer and everything else. To learn more about, click here. You must learn about this website. Offer something free. I mean, seriously, bribe these people. They just read a whole article by you. If they like you, they're going to get that free report. So that's what you want. You want them to get the free report, because by them getting the free report, you get their name and email address. And that's part of the whole process that we want to do, is we want to get that name and email address. So eZine articles is definitely one of those places you want to look at. Hubpages.com. Hubpages.com, let me see the best way to describe this, because it's like an article directory, but I think it's a little bit more advanced than an article directory than what most people would realize. Because what happens is you basically go on here and you create a page. Well, basically a page. It's called Hub Pages. So if I type in the words, let's say internet marketing as an example. So we're going to just search. It's going to give me some results, questions, and then some things on here. Internet marketing speaker. I don't know who this is, but we'll click on it anyway. So now that there's an article here. Here's the page. This is the person. There's a couple links to their website. And then there's a picture down here, which I find interesting, but they didn't link to it. So that's not very good. I don't know that individual, but I would say they're not a very good marketer. Or let's put it this way. I don't want to say something bad about someone I don't know. I would say that they need to market a little bit better. How's that? Just in case it's somebody listening. So now this person, again, highlight all these links. Internet marketing. These go to internal hub pages. So that's fine. Affiliate program goes to, and again, another hub page. What is this, a big old glossary? Sheesh. So all these things just go to another hub page. So, it's not what I'm looking for either. The reason I chose internet marketing is I was hoping someone would have some decent links. The internet marketing WSI time, that goes to their website. I assume that's what that is. But look at what you can do on this though. Whereas with eZine articles, it's like, oh, here's my article, and the formatting is okay, but not great. But in here, you can add images, you can post subtitles, you can put bullet points, you can do call outs apparently. according to this. A couple different things that they're promoting here. A little video. Again, you know what? You know, some of these people, I mean, yeah, they put an offer right here and they put an offer up top here, but you should end every single one of your articles with a link to a website. So again, not another great example in my opinion. So let's go to the next page because I'm just getting angry at these people now. Let's take a look at this one. So there it is. And they link to their website. At least people are linking to their website. You should be linking to your website with a purpose. And let's write that down. Link with a purpose. Link with a purpose. Meaning that if I'm going to put a link there, I want to get someone to click on the link and I want them to come to my website and I want them to ultimately opt in for my report or possibly even buy one of my products. That would be fantastic. I would love them for that. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for anything else. I don't care about, this article. I do, but I don't. Let me just clarify something. Can you just put crappy articles up? The answer is no. Can you put PLR articles up? The answer is no. Don't do it. Can you put articles written by someone else in any way, shape, or form? Unless they were absolutely ghost written 100% for you and no one else has ever had their hands on them, then I would say no. If they are 100% custom for you and no one else has ever had their hands on them, then I would say yes. So don't try to shortcut the system. I know a lot of people do is they're like, oh, I just bought this course and it's got 280 private label articles that I can use, or 280,000, I'm sorry, private label articles that I could use. And therefore they start putting these things up and very quickly they discover that these things get banned really fast. And sometimes you have your account taken away. So just make sure the content that you have is actually good content. Good content. Now, here's another little tip for you guys. One of the things that is always floating around the internet about content, duplicate content, and everything else, and there's been a little bit of changes on certain things the way I think, but not much. Because Google's basic rule says duplicate content is the same content listed on the exact same website. But here's what they don't tell you. What they don't tell you is that if the content you're putting on another website is not unique, they will index that page, but they will push it to what they call the supplemental index. The supplemental index are those times where you're searching and you are at the end of your search results. And they say, we've omitted certain of these because they seem to be the same article as this. And they use a better phrasing than I do, but that's what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. Because they found another site with similar content, they didn't de-index it. They indexed it 100%. If you check in all variations, the page is 100% on Google, and it's indexed. But it's in a supplemental index, which only appears in rare occasions. That's why a lot of people don't get traffic. So the content that you would post here, I would try to make it unique as possible. But also, at the same time, there is a way to make sure that your own site doesn't go into a supplemental index. Meaning that when you post articles, let's say, to your blog, after it's been on your blog for several weeks, then take that same article and post it on hub pages, and then post it on Squidoo or post it on wherever you want to put it, or using articles. But post it to your blog first if you're going to use that same article, or try to use that same article again. This is why you don't become part of the supplemental results for your own topic that you wrote on your own website. Because when it goes into a supplemental result, pretty much the whole website is flagged at that point. So make sure that you post to your site always first, then wait, then post it to another site. Does that make sense? So Hub Pages, this is a pretty big site. This is when I say pretty big, volume-wise, it's pretty big. Now, Hub Pages works similar to Squidoo. So here we are at Squidoo. And with Squidoo, it works a little bit differently. It's the same type of idea as Hub Pages, which I think is honestly it's a brilliant idea. It really is that people create content. That's what they do. I love this whole model between these two sites. I think it's absolutely brilliant in many different ways. But let's say this My Scottish Garden. We're going to click on here. We'll open that up. We'll open up this Gecko's Breeding Day. We'll open up this Disney Dream Cruise. We'll open up Hawaiian. I don't know if I want to even look at that. Hawaiian pizza recipe. Ugh. Pineapple on a pizza? Seriously? And I'm a pizza purist. A year in Norway. So let's just take a look at all of these. And first thing, colors. They allow you to change some colors so it looks nice in coordination with what you have. They allow you to ask surveys. There it is. There's surveys. These are ads running on the right-hand side of the page. At the very top of this is the person who wrote this particular one. She has 53 other featured lenses. Now, you may be asking, why do they call it a lens? It's simply because squid do. Squid do. So it's a squid. It's a lens. It's like an eye. That's the idea. At least that's what I believe. That's my guess. So there's their number of articles they wrote, how they won trophies, and things of that nature. And then they have all this information here about this particular topic, the Scottish Garden. And their responsibility is to post content and basically take ownership of this particular page. So this is what they do. They take care of this particular page, add content, remove content, take care of comments. And in return, if anyone should click on these ads, they split the revenue in some fashion with Squidoo and the person who created the content. And it's really kind of cool. So it's really kind of a neat idea as far as how they put this together. But you could easily create a lens in order to post your article on your own lens itself. Now, because Squidoo ranks so well, anything that you post on Squidoo will rank very well. And then again, the idea though is to take that Squidoo lens and point it back to your website. None of this does you any good unless you point it back to your website in some way, shape, or form. Via links, via an ad, a banner, whatever you want to do. You can post those things here, link it back to your website, and then you do great. So again, that's one Squidoo lens. Let's take a look at a couple others. Breeding Day Gecko's Baby Gecko Pictures. Let me ask you a question. Do you think this guy's trying to game the system in some way? I think so. Just because of the phrasing of this particular phrase up here. Breeding Day Gecko's Baby Gecko Pictures. So there's a dash in between that. So I think they did that for search engine optimization. Spring is coming back and the geckos are breeding. And then they just tell you everything about geckos. So it's pretty basic, pretty straightforward. Again, this person has 50 other featured lenses, and there's some ads on the right-hand side. Pretty basic. Same thing here. Disney Dream Cruise. They talk about all these other things. I can almost guarantee that they're going to be promoting something on this one. Obviously, Disney. So there's everything that they have about Disney, and then these links to Disney. Now, whether these are affiliate links or whatever, I don't know. But this is one of the things that they're talking about. Another one is a year in Norway. Works the same way. So again, all kinds of posts, information, content about being in Norway in this particular case. But it's the same idea as an article directory, no matter how you look at it. Many people use this and gain a significant amount of traffic back to their website. So is it worth doing? The answer, in my opinion, is absolutely yes. I would definitely do it. So next, let's take a look at Technorati, because Technorati is a little bit of a different animal. Technorati used to be really, really big. It used to be huge. It used to be this massive, dominating, upcoming force in the way of blogging and blog search engines. And it's still there, but it's just a different form than it is today. So basically, you would just join Technorati and add your blog to Technorati. That's really the simplistic way that it works, because it pulls the content from your actual blog. So there's really not much that you actually have to do except list your blog. So you basically sign in, you create an account or here, or you should say you join right here, you sign in, you add your blog, and have a great day. You're done. Does that make sense? But again, this is a search engine. So if I search for posts, or if I click on an article, or if I search for a topic, make money, we'll put something simple, make money online, okay? So now all these, let's click on it. Notice it went to TechCrunch, okay? In fact, let's open these next ones. We'll click on this one, just to give some variety. Links directly to their ad, links directly to their website and The Verge. This one links to TechCrunch as well too. And so all of these, this just one's taking a while to come up. There it is. All of these link to their own internal website. Now, what happens with Technorati, they link directly to your website. So there's a possibility of you actually getting traffic from here. Is it guaranteed? The answer is no. But is there a possibility? Absolutely. Absolutely. This would be a great place in order for you to start posting content and information here. So let's take a look at the next step. And the next step is how do we expand what we just went through? Meaning, how do we expand article directories? So we type in words like best article directories to post to. And what you'll find is best article directories to get backlinks. Well, I don't really care about backlinks, but here's one: 50 best, 3 ways, 10 high page rank article directories, free list to post articles. I just want decent articles that are good. So now using articles, that's one they claim. We already talked about that. I don't care about SEO aspects. That's not my intent. Let's go to this next one. This guy, I like people like this. I've compiled a list of article directories you can submit to and get backlinks from. I don't care about the backlinks. We just want to see if they work. Easing articles, Article Base, Article Snatch, Buzzle, Go Articles, Helium, Article City. So this would be a fantastic resource. There's 50 places that we can post immediately our articles to. You see, this is how it works. Once we find something that we like, now it's time to expand. Meaning, how do we expand that and explode that to the next step? So in 1, 2, or 3 minute search, I just found 50 other places I could submit articles to. I mean, how cool is that? You know, that's what we're really looking at. This is how we can really get the most amount of traffic out of the different types of methods that we're talking about. Let's look at some of the other places here. How to use article directories for the internet. Do they actually tell us? No. So that's bogus. This one happens to be on hub pages, oddly enough. It's always funny. Squidoo, Easing Articles, Hub Pages, Article Base, Technorati, Buzzle, Go Articles, InfoBarrel, Tryond, Pub Articles. So there's a couple new ones that we didn't see before on the other list. Let's go to the next one. This one has Google Knoll, Let's Be Famous. Google Knoll is kind of out. Let's Be Famous.com, Self-Growth. They have articles there you can promote. Promotion World, Net Wyman, I guess. And so they have a list of quite a few on this page. So this is pretty significant. So this would be definitely one of those that I would keep. So is this one of these places that I would keep? Absolutely, because this just saved me a ton of time as far as articles and article directories that I can post to. I don't know how many, like I said, they have here. It was updated a little while back. This was updated in 2011, but you know, it would still probably be a good list. So I'd probably take this and copy it. It's already in the table, and what I would probably do is put it in a spreadsheet or something and then check each one of these links to make sure they're still pretty good. So these are the ones that we want to look at, and we would just continue our search. So again, we just keep on taking a look. Another one, top 50 article directories, top 25 article directories, and we would just keep on going and going and going and going till we list all the different article directories that we could get our hands on. And here's 50 that we could find right there. And that makes a really great way for us to get exposure in places where we wouldn't get exposure before. Here's another website, 25. Some of them are repeats, but some of them are probably pretty new. So again, we would go through it, see what it looks like, and add into our spreadsheet, and then keep expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding. So this is how this works. So again, article directories are just one method that we can use in order to do what we need to do. So next is guest blogging. Now, guest blogging, it's actually not that difficult. Meaning, let's say I would I wanted to find blogs on internet marketing. Okay, my subject, my topic, what I know about a lot is internet marketing. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google, and I typed in the words internet marketing. Many of these sites are blogs listed down below. I could go over here and see, like on Blogger, I could search on Blogger. That would be another way that I could do it. I could look for different ways to search on Google, such as images, Gmail, Drive, and stuff like that. But more importantly, what we want to look for is blogs right there. Okay, so we're going to click on blogs. So now what I did is I searched internet marketing in Google, then I selected blogs. Now all of these are blogs. All of these are blogs. So for example, let's take a look at this one, this one, this one, search engine land, maybe this one, shoe money, maybe this one, maybe this one. That's a job. Well, this one. And I just keep on searching and searching and searching, of course. So now I look at this. Do they have a blog? What do they do? This company, full service internet marketing tools. They have a blog. Let's see what they write about in their blog. They're ranked especially well. SEO for marketers, 5 ways to learn reverse image search, 5 pro tips. Really cool, because I like what they're saying here, because each one of these posts are from different people. So that's looking really good for us. They do have a team apparently, but still. For the best ROI, eat your veggies, cool cropping, mind mapping. So this might be a great place that they might be interested in swapping articles with me, or they might want to post one of my articles. So I would contact them and say, let's do this, and see how they react. Either they're going to like the idea or they're not going to like the idea, and that's fine. But they might like the idea because they're marketing a service, a tool that looks fairly nice, looks fairly good. With swapping a link, a blog post on my website for a blog post on their website. Does that make sense? So it would make sense to them. It makes sense to me. This is another one, another website here. I don't see their blog though. So that one's pretty much out. I don't have to look for that one. WordStream. This is a service, but they have a blog. So this is a company, of course. Boston Marathon. Let's see what else. Let's get rid of that. How to create the best quality landing pages for your Google AdWords account. Okay, so they're writing about things. I know a few things about Google AdWords, of course. So, I know a little bit about marketing on Facebook, and I could offer a very unique angle, maybe on Google AdWords, or a unique angle as far as marketing on Facebook. And again, the same idea. I would offer to, let them post this article. Hey, I think this would be great for your readers. Let me know if you'd love to post this. I think it'd be fantastic. Or, hey, what about the idea of we swap ads? I have this much traffic on my site. You have this much traffic on your site. And that'd be fantastic. For example, I might use on them saying, okay, you got 3,160 followers on Google Plus. I have like 6,000. You know what I mean? So I might use that to my advantage, or, in that way. So I would, again, try to, get my blog post on their website. Daily blog tips, they talk a lot about internet marketing. So this would be definitely something that I would definitely want to explore. Daily blog tips, keep an eye on Bitcoins. Check out John Chow. I actually read this blog every now and then. So they talk a lot about internet marketing. Would be perfect for me as far as swapping out articles with them. Another one, Shoe Money, same thing. He talks about a lot about marketing, a different type of marketing in many ways, but still talks a lot about marketing. So it might be a fit. He talks about a different type of affiliate marketing than I normally do. But he does have some great strategies that he talks about. And I think there'd be some articles there that might be very appropriate for us to either swap out or for him to post one of my articles on his site if I think that article is appropriate. Marketing land, more high-end marketing, I probably wouldn't fit in that category in the way that they talk about things. Marketing Pilgrim, if I remember right, I believe this guy that owns this actually lives here in Raleigh. So we might be able to do something, maybe meet for coffee or something like that. And then talk about the idea of maybe swapping articles and things of that nature as well too. Because they also own a service. They own the service called Tracker, which is a monitoring tool, which is really cool. That would be, we might be able to swap out something there. So it's just a matter of finding out your site, finding out, something that's appropriate for your site, and then, doing a search here to find out, okay, well, what can we use? What can we use that, or who can we find that we could swap articles with, or who could we offer to guest post for to give them great content so they could post to their site? And again, that would be a great method, a very simple method for us to gain traffic. Now, how much does it cost? How much does it cost? It costs us nothing, does it? It doesn't cost us a single dime in order to do this. So how quickly can you do it? Well, as long as you have an article, you can start doing these things. You only need, how many articles do you need? One, just one. If you have just one article, then you're all set to go. But if you don't have any articles, then you're kind of out of luck at that particular point. So again, guest posting or guest blogging is just really a matter of finding other blogs that are similar to you in some way. Now, a lot of times we can even stretch and talk about subjects that we wouldn't normally talk about, but it would be very appropriate to introduce us, our websites, our products or services to these other people. Now, how do these people find you? Well, at the end of every post, you have a little about you box that would say, this article was written by Armin Morin. He's a guest blogger here on our website. And to find out more about Armin Morin and to get a free report on how to blah, 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 then click here. And that would be at the end of the blog post. So that's how I get traffic back to my website. Now, during my blog post, I don't want to promote anything, especially if I'm guest blogging. It's rude. I don't want to promote anything and cut that person out at all. I don't want to promote anything. I just want to give great content. That's the idea. We win people over with the content and the information that we have. If we can win those people over, then we're in great shape. Does that make sense? So that's one of the things we want to do with the guest blogging aspect. So next is forum marketing. Now, again, the way we market for forums is a matter of just typing in and searching for the right kind of forum, the right kind of message board. So we would simply type in, like I said, let's use our example that we had, real estate message boards. Now, real estate is kind of a strange subject because what kind of real estate? Is it like your independent investors or is it your realtors that you're going after? So it might not be the best topic for me to go after, but I think you guys will get the idea in just a few short moments. So this one's agentsonline.net. It's a real estate forum, HGTV message boards, real estate forum, real estate directory. So let's take a look at these. Instantly, there we are. Bam. That's a message board. Next one. That looks like a message board. And the next one isn't coming up very quick. So maybe that one doesn't work. That's a possibility. And we'll assume it doesn't work. We'll click on another one. Redfin Real Estate Forums. Again, here's another one. Very active, looks like. So what we would do is we would, again, join one of these messages. If I was a real estate person, first of all, I would, create an account here, go in, become part of the conversation, and then look at what people are asking. What did your website cost? Anyone else e-faxing? So these are like real estate people that are looking to market online. So for me, I just kind of picked this particular board because I found it interesting, and we would just simply click on the various links to find out more information about that. But look at the questions. If you know the answer to some of these questions, answer them. If this is your topic, of course. So what we would do is, anyone e-faxing, anyone use Dropbox, and so we would drop into here and read the message. It says, curious, how many here use Dropbox specifically for its capability to track log data? If the intended recipient has downloaded the document, do you find it useful enough? Would you love to hear your comments? And this one says SkyDrive is better, gives you more space and is free. You can send pictures and documents, so that they're posting all their stuff. So be part of the conversation. Be part of the conversation. And then if you notice, some of these people, like here, look at this. These are links directly to their website. Okay, links directly to their website. So obviously this person focuses on selling homes. Looks like in Colorado, there's Vail and I don't know, what Steamboat Springs and everything else. So these people are from all over the place. There's Louisville, San Jose, Lexington, Bucks County Homes. So again, even these people have links at the bottom in their SIG file. Now these probably, because they're real estate people, they're not going to swap links with you or allow you to buy their links. It's just not what they're going to do because they're marketing as well. But so this isn't a great this isn't a great topic for swapping links. But to find message boards that we could become part of is really easy in any market, in any industry. For example, now I'm not a big scuba person, but it just kind of came to my mind. Scuba message boards. And so instantly we can find stuff on Scuba, and there's probably a message board forums right there. So there's the forums in Scuba, and there's forums in here, and another one on forums. So any topic, you name it, you can always find forums. You can always find message boards. And by using that little SIG file to market, makes it really easy. So now, what would we do? For example, if we looked at, most markets, and let's just take a look at, we'll take a look at marketing message boards. Okay, just because I know that there's going to be people with, SIG files that are actually utilizing them in some way, shape, or form. Here's one that's forum. Here's another one. Okay, so what we're going to do is here's a message board. Real time, let's go topics. Discussion forum. Okay, so here's the discussion forum. Here's some of them at least. And, some are public, some are not. So we look at this forum, and let's see if this is open. This is like a paid deal. Tagline for gasoline summer promo. Sign in with one of these. So they want me to sign in with one of these. I'm not going to do that today. Now let's take a look. These guys have no SIG files, which is strange. Let's go over to this one. It's just an article how to do it. Let's look at this one. Okay, so this is pretty popular. It's been around for a long time. Let's take a look at this one. This is just people introducing themselves. Okay, so like this person here. Underneath there's their signature, the skateboarding mag on this person. That's their SIG file. Let's try to pick a topic a little bit more popular. But I'm looking for this would be a good topic. So I just want a topic where I can see a bunch of people. And here we go. So here's one right here. This one has a bunch of links. Now, what we're looking for is we're looking on the left-hand side, and I'm looking for the person with the most number of posts in this string. So this one has 3. This one has 8. They post 108 times, 10, 2, 13, 38, 51. So we haven't found the superstar yet. 330, better. We're getting better there. 330, and this person's never even, doesn't have anything in their sig file. Okay. 2 posts, 25 posts. So a 330 person, he's definitely a prospect that we would keep in mind. Why? Because he's got 330 posts that we could probably get for $5. So it wouldn't be much at all. Free website hosting. Let's see if someone, okay, right here is a great one. 1,137 posts, and they're advertising affiliate marketing, a theme, some kind of commission program there. So they might be interested in writing out that post, their sig file. So I'd go in and simply go in and offer them this. Now, again, it would be obviously appropriate forum for your specific topic, but it's the same principle no matter what. All message boards basically work in a very similar way. A very, very, very similar way. And that is almost all of them, again, very few don't, almost all of them have some kind of sig file that you can attach to your each post that you make. And so all we need to do is find people that are willing to allow us to rent a sig file. That's it. Make an offer. Make an offer to them. All they can say is what? No. Well, go get your no. Go get your no. And then, don't spend a huge amount of money. But if someone has like 2,000 posts, I'm willing to spend 25 or $50 for the month because I'm going to get those 2,000 posts as well too. It's going to backdate, and I shouldn't say backdate. It's going to instantly go back and change all those previous posts to my sig file, to the new sig file that I just gave them. So that's going to give me a huge opportunity, a huge, huge, huge opportunity. So we need to make sure that we find people that have a significant number of posts and just simply ask them. That's all you have to do. Not complicated in any way, shape, or form. So next is blogging. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to open up a page. And I'm just going to go to Google Drive, and we're going to create a new document. Okay? Nothing major. Then we're going to go over here to Google Keyword Tool. And all we're going to do is look at some phrases. And we'll just make up some topics. So here we are. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to type in a phrase. And let's just say home gardening. And I'm going to click search. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to skip the ideas and come over to the keyword ideas. And I'm looking at a couple different scenarios. Number one, I'm going to go by global monthly searches. And you can see the individual ones are going to come up. But I'm going to click this and search again. Only show ideas closely related to my search terms. So we're going to do another search again. Now, the reason I did it again, home gardening, now every keyword phrase has home gardening in it in some way, shape, or form. So when I look at them, I can see, okay, well, which one's going to be most appropriate for me, for what I'm talking about, home gardening? So maybe it's organic home gardening. Maybe that's my topic. Maybe that's what I want to ultimately rank for. So the way you do this, and again, of course, there's SEO strategies and things of that nature that we can talk about, but that's in a separate portion in the WordPress SEO course that goes along with this. But in this case, the most basic thing that you can do is, number one, identify the phrase. And our phrase is, organic home gardening, and let's just make that a little bit bigger. Organic home gardening, that's what we want to focus in on. So now, the question is, how can we rewrite this? We can use it at the front or the ending of our title. So, let's grow amazing tomatoes with organic home gardening. Okay, so that'd be one way. So that'd be, of course, that if did I spell tomatoes right? I think is it O? Tomatoes. I'll go with the O. Nope. Is it tomatoes? I think that worked. So grow amazing tomatoes with organic home gardening. Again, organic home gardening in its entirety, together, nothing separating it, would go at the end. That's where it needs to be in the first case. Now, the second case, we would start off organic home gardening secrets you can use today. Now, again, same phrase, except this time it's at the beginning of it. It's either at the front, it's at the beginning, it's never in the middle. Never in the middle, never in the middle, never in the middle. It's either at the front or at the back. One or the other. One or the other. And this way, Google will pick up on this. Google will pick this up. Now, look at when we type in a phrase, and let's just type it in. Organic home gardening. You have to understand and be observant. Did I just mess up something here? Try this again. Organic home gardening. So there it is. Now, we can tell a lot. We can tell, I didn't say we, I can tell a lot by glancing at this. I actually think I could put a blog post up and actually rank for this real quick. And the reason why I say that is because when I look at the title, this is organic garden, organic home gardener. That's very close, but not quite. Organic gardening there. Home organic gardening, close. Home organic gardening tips, organic garden, organic gardening, organic and gardening, organic garden. So nothing's exact. Notice how nothing here is exact. Let's look at page 2. Nothing exact in any of the titles. Organic home garden. Again, what was our phrase? Oops. Sheesh, I hate when I do that. Organic home gardening. Okay. So this one was organic gardening, organic home garden, organic home garden. Now, yeah, I mean, I'm positive on this one. So now the reason why I say that I think I could rank very well is that if you look on page 1 and you look on page 2, there is not a single exact phrase in the title. Not one. Not one. I typed in organic home gardening. I didn't type in any of these other things. So if I had a blog and if this was my topic, I could pretty much walk in today, post something, and probably rank number 1 within a week. Easily. Maybe sooner. Simply because my title, because what people are searching for is organic home gardening. And my title would be the most accurate. It would be the most appropriate because it's there and it's at the front or at the end. And but it's exact. Organic home gardening. That's why I'm going to rank higher specifically in my blog post as a result of this. So this is the way it works. It's a very simple process. It's not very complicated, but again, organic home gardening, and it's at the front or it's at the back. Make sense? Not complicated, but something easy that any one of you could do. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to look at classified sites. Now, with classifieds, let's work this in reverse because we're going to start off with the BYO technique first. Best classified sites to advertise. Now, we don't have to look very far to realize that, okay, here's 20, here's 100, here's 7, here's 10. There's a bunch there. So with these online classified sites, what we can do is, all we have to do is simply just go and start searching for this because there's an unlimited number of sites. They're just thousands, tens of thousands. And if we just put best classified sites or list of online classified sites, and we start getting results back instantly. And we can build this huge, huge list of online classified sites. For example, 3,000 free classified ad sites, and then it gives a link there. So it's a video they want you to watch. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but might be something to take a look at. 4,223 classified sites. This is on Hub Pages. So let's take a look, see what they say here. Is it true, or are they just messing with me? Yeah, they're just messing with us because this guy's like, oh, email me and so you can buy it. So we just look and just look and just look. List the top free advertised place on to advertise. Now, if we want something a little bit later, a little bit more recent, we simply go up here to search tools, and we want only in the past year. So this way we get the most recent stuff, and we don't get a lot of older type sites, and that makes it a much better search, in my opinion, when we're looking for something like classified sites that can come and go. So like in this one right here, this was posted in February 16th, top 100 best free classified ads, postings, and sites. So when we look at this, most of the links here should actually work. So we'll be able to go through these, and they give us a list here, except what they didn't do, they didn't really format it very well. So this list is pretty much useless. So I wouldn't look at that one. There's one there. Now this just kind of mention this, kind of a side note. GoArticles.com is another place to post your articles. This is actually a great classified article directory that you can post your articles to. A lot of people utilize this. It's just a really popular site, and since we're here, I figured I'd mention it to you. Next, so we keep hitting next and just find the different places. And so there's 25 here, 7 there, 12 there, 10 here, and just start building your list. It's building a list, building a list, building a list, building a list. So there's many places to post a classified site, but let's walk you through one that I think is probably, depending on what you're advertising, I think it works on almost anything, and that is US free ads. US free ads is a very simple website. In order to utilize, you can pay. There's a paid version and a free version, and let me see if I remember my password. Yeah, I don't remember my password offhand. Can't remember if it's my... Let's try this. Nah, I'm not going to get in. So it's easy to get into. It's just I don't have my other plugins running right now in order to make this go faster. But let me just walk you through exactly how it works. You create an account, and when you create an account, the first thing that happens is they're going to ask you to upgrade. Now, I think the upgrade, if I remember right, you can upgrade your account for like an extra $10. I think it's like $10 for a couple months. I did it just for, to make, I think it's going to give my ad a little bit more exposure, and it would allow me to do a couple other different things. So I upgraded for like 10 or $20. It was really inexpensive. That's what I did. But now when we come over here, for example, there's like a ton of people posting every single day on this. There's free ads. There's all kinds of ads that people are running. You're allowed to put a picture. You're allowed to put a number of a certain amount of information here as well too. You can see some of the ads that people are running. They're pretty, it's pretty interesting. And we'll just pick an ad eventually here. Let me just scroll down. I have no idea what these people are promoting, but we'll pick this one. So this one, some kind of make money idea, but what we'll do is we'll just click on it to see what his ad looks like since he's featured. So that link took us through this in-between page. Okay. Now, this was really interesting. It took us to an in-between page here. You're viewing an external website away from USA free ads. Is they're not responsible for the content of this website. So what happens in this particular ad, they decided to show the ad in an iframe. Okay. And because they showed the ad in an iframe, it was actually pretty amazing because it must be something new that they're doing. So this would be definitely something we'd want to try to learn more about because I didn't click on anything else except for that link. Now let's click on the second link. This one's featured as well too, except this one, I stayed exactly on US free ads. So now with this one, it's not a very good ad in my opinion, but it's there, it's listed. So, you're allowed to put any kind of information up here. You can use graphics, you can use whatever you want. And then there's the ad. So there's a number of different places that you can put the ads in here. Now, again, I have to remind you that, classified ads are okay and they're cool. I think they can be done and, they do pull to some degree, but we need to put it in places where it will actually be seen. This site actually gets a significant amount of traffic. And that's one of the reasons why I'm demonstrating this particular site to you guys. So this is one way that you can easily post it. And again, you have your basics like Craigslist. There's another site that has classified ads as well too. Backpage.com. I think it's .com. Yeah, Backpage.com, which is basically like Craigslist. Where am I? North Carolina. I'm in Raleigh. Okay. So here's Raleigh right here. They have like BizOps down here. So, depending on what I want to post, how to make money, blah, blah, blah. That would be there. Depending on what I'm marketing, would be, what I'm looking, it really depends. So, you could post on here again, significant traffic that it gets to this particular site. So Craigslist, Backpage, this is another place that we can post to. But basically any kind of classified site that you could possibly think of. In different countries, there's different places for classifieds. Look for the biggest online classifieds that you can. A lot of magazines online will actually have classified sites. That's another place that you can look for classified sites. That works very well. Some of the niche publications will allow you to buy small classified ads on their online website, and it's a whole lot cheaper than their actual magazine. So that's again a great place to get started with classifieds itself. But look for classifieds, find different places, and go from there. Another thing that you can do with classified ads is you can have other people post it for you. You might want to try Fiverr. So if we went to Fiverr and actually did the same thing. So for example, I'm just going to type in literally classified ads and see what comes up. Now, I'll tell you right now, this is just an idea that I had. So let's see, I have no idea what's going to come up. Classified ads, and we're waiting. Here we go. I will post your premium classified ad and free ad lists for $5. I'll submit your website to hundreds of classified ad sites. I'll blast your advertising with highly quality classified ads for 5 days for $5. I'll post your classified in US free ads for $5. And so there's a number of different people. 3,700 classified ad sites for $5. Sounds like a deal. Count me in. So stuff like this, where they'll just take my ad and then they'll submit it. Let them go. For $5, it's going to save you a huge amount of time. A huge amount of time in doing, especially people that I'll post to 3,700 places or I'll post to 1,000 places. It's a classified ad. So don't worry about it. Just do it. I wouldn't even question it. Just go ahead and find someone that has a good reputation on here and then let them go and let them start posting. Does that make sense? So on certain things, when we're talking about free stuff, especially classified ads, don't put in a lot of time. I'm just warning you right now. You can think, oh, I'm going to put this ad and then free this and free that and free this and free that. And it's great. It's fine. But there's a time consumption aspect of it. And we don't want to waste a huge amount of time. So by going into a place like Fiverr, having them post some stuff for you, that'll do it. There's some software that does it, but it takes a while for it to set all of it up. There's definitely software that does it. I've seen it. I think even on the source code to somewhere. But the fact is, if we can have someone else do it for us, then let them do it. Does that make sense? So let's go move on to the next step. Now, the one thing I didn't show you guys is the link shortening sites here. Now, there's two specific sites that I want to show you. It's simply AdFly and LinkBugs. Now, I have to say this right up front. This type of traffic, it either hits or it misses. It either works or it doesn't. And it's cool, but at the same time, it's not the most extreme targeted type of traffic. So what we're going to do is, let me just show you how it works. And we're just going to put in a link. We'll put in one of my websites. So we're going to put in my website, and we'll put in marketer CMS. Okay. So there it is. There's my website. I'm going to click shrink it. There's the URL. So it shrunk my link, which is cool. That's just fine. But now what we're going to do over here is we're going to go through here. Now, before we get to my page and to get to my site, using that short link that they just generated, it shows me a countdown in the upper right-hand corner. And now it just switched to skip ad. But now this page that it brought me to is an ad. It's called interstitial advertising. Interstitial advertising is it's interesting. I mean, a lot of big companies use interstitial advertising, oddly enough. New York Times uses it. Several big corporations use interstitial advertising. Not from here, mind you. I just want to be clarifying that. But they do use it. And so it is something that's been around for a while. But at the same time, this ad, we can buy this space. The space in between from when a person clicks to ultimately going where they want to be, we grab that space in between using a service like AdFly as an example. If we click skip ad, it should take us to my Marketer CMS website, and it does. So that's where the ads appear. That's where the ads appear themselves. In fact, if we took the same link again and we copied it, we're going to hit enter there. And if we hit refresh, a lot of times we'll just get we have to wait a few seconds. We'll get a new ad. So we're going to click it. Oh, they give us the same ad. So a lot of times we'll get a new ad if we hit refresh and we wait a little bit of time. They'll give us a new ad. But that's basically how it works. So now, how do we advertise? That's the easy part, actually. So we're going to log in. Let's see. And okay, so here's my account. And you can see we did a test the other day on it. But basically what we would do is we're going to create a campaign. We click at the top once we create an account. And the traffic, and all these numbers are per thousand. Per 1,000 times our ad is shown, this is what we would pay. So in the United States, we'd pay $5 per 1,000. In the United Kingdom, if we want traffic from the United Kingdom, we would pay $4 per 1,000. If we wanted worldwide traffic, which is, in my opinion, not the best traffic. It's just, there's a lot of people that don't speak English. It's a lot of countries that are just cheap. You'll get a lot of traffic from China. You'll get traffic from Malaysia. You'll get traffic from the Middle East. You get traffic from India. There's a lot of traffic from India, and it's not so much that I think it's bad traffic. It's just a lot of times not really targeted traffic. So you're not spending that much for it. That's first of all, which is fine, which is cool. I mean, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money for traffic, but I want traffic that will convert. So I like to keep it, to my basic English-speaking countries, which is the United States, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, Ireland, a few other places like that. And many of those are like $3 per 1,000. So what I would do here in this case is put in my URL that I'd want to promote. That's really all it takes is put in the URL that you want to promote, and then you simply enter in the amount that you want. So if I wanted, let's say 10,000 visitors. So it'd be, in this case, we go down to the bottom, 10,000 visitors for a total of $50. So it cost me $50 for 10,000 visitors. So is that cheap? Extremely cheap. Extremely cheap. But again, we want to be careful. What I'd rather you do is you start small. So do 1,000 visitors. Cost you $5. If you want to be really adventurous, do 2,000 visitors. It'll cost you $20. $10. So the reason why I say that is because just because something is cheap doesn't mean you have to buy it. It's like the jokes about things on sale. Just because something is on sale doesn't mean you actually have to buy it, right? Well, just because this is cheap doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money on it. You don't know what's going to happen. So the basic rule with any kind of advertising, in my opinion, is you start small, $5, $10, here and there, and then kind of raise it up as you go. But this type of traffic, I'll tell you what it's best for is to test things, to test something that is maybe you're iffy about a subject line, or maybe you're iffy about a headline, or maybe you're testing your opt-in page and split testing the opt-in page. I mean, those are some great ways that you can drive traffic really inexpensively to test which one's going to work the most effectively. Can you build a list from this? Yes, absolutely. I've done it. I've done it, and I continue to do it again and again and again, is to build a list from this inexpensive traffic. Again, even the traffic from the United States, I can get those people to opt in. I can get those people to subscribe. I can get those people to do a number of different things. It depends where I want to target. That's going to be the better way to put this. It really depends upon where I want to target. So what I would do is simply select it, enter in all it takes is, here's my URL. I enter in that field. I come down to the bottom, and then I click here to enter your website details. Well, let's do it this way. I enter it in there. So now create a new website. No, let's promote one I already have. So we'll promote this one, my YouTube one, since I've already promoted it. I click agree, and then I click PayPal to pay for it. That's how quick it is. I want to enter a new URL. If I enter a new URL, then it's going to take me about 10 hours. Let's say 10 to 20 hours. 10 to 20 hours, I'll wait for approval, and then it will ultimately go live. Now, if we look at my campaigns, you'll see that I have some campaigns. I turned it on the other day, and if you look at the traffic up here, I spent $8.78, and I had 1,755 views. 1,755 views. But what this story doesn't tell you is that I only turned it on for about 15, maybe 10 minutes. It's probably about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, I generated 1,755 visitors. That's kind of just like, it's just cool. I mean, it really is. It's just kind of a neat thing. So I can turn this on anytime I want to, and it just works. So it works pretty neat. It's fun more than anything else. But at the same time, I don't want it just to be fun. I need to make it profitable. I don't spend money. If I wanted to spend money on fun, I'd go to Vegas. So I need to make it profitable, right? So we need to send it to a page that's going to convert as best we possibly can. Now, another thing that we can do, another website that works just like this. In fact, I believe that this other website works better. It's called Linkbucks. And as far as conversions go, I've actually had better conversions on this website as well. It works the same exact way. It's slightly cheaper though, typically. So it's slightly cheaper than the other site. If we look at the advertising, you can see these are all the campaigns I've done inside of here. I actually do use this. It's not something I just play with as well. But the way you do it is you click Create Campaign. We enter in a URL. We choose the type of advertising, which we want intermission advertising. Now again, they have that worldwide traffic. Theirs is only 80 cents. So it's even less again. So it's very inexpensive, very tempting, but it's also very inexpensive. So then we kind of come down and find out the place we want to advertise. So for example, the United States currently is sold out. So what I would do is maybe go to look at UK, which is, they list it here as Great Britain. I believe, yeah, GB. So it's 420 there for Great Britain. Yeah, Australia would be another one that I'd look at. Australia sold out right now, which means they don't have any traffic. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. And then maybe Ireland, if possible. Ireland 250. So that would be okay. And then Canada. Let's take a look at Canada. Canada is available for $2.90. So a little bit inexpensive, less inexpensive. Works the exact same way. We put the amount in thousands that we want. I want 10,000 visitors. I put 10. And then it gives me the price down at the bottom according to the country that I chose. These are the details I'd put up here. Okay. Pretty much you leave it alone. Just let it go. And then you're done. And the way this works a little bit differently as far as paying for it. Once you create the ad, and for example, we'd fill in all these details here, scroll down to the bottom of the page, click Create Campaign Now, then it would ask us to fund it, the campaign. And the way you fund it is by simply adding more to your account. So for example, right now my account sits with $1.60 in it. So I could technically go and get a few visitors for $1.60. Not many, but I could get a few. So now, then I would just simply go ahead and pay the campaign and it would start running. And I could choose with a credit card, I can choose PayPal, Payza, whatever it may be. And then simply make the payment. And then my ads would start running. That's it. I mean, it's really not complicated. It's actually very, very easy to do in order to make this happen. But again, you want to be sure that you can do what you need it to do. Now, what we've done so far is we've gone through all the things that I've listed, but there's really two other pieces that I just want to share with you guys right now. And actually one other piece I want to share with you right now. And then I'll tell you about a bonus that we're going to put involved in this. Number one, I want to talk about press releases. And press releases are very, very important. We've used them very effectively at things we've done in the past. And what most people think is when they think of press release as far as websites or companies that they should utilize is PR Web. This is probably the most popular website that there is as far as press releases go on the internet. Now, why is it as popular as it is? I think it works to a certain degree, and I think it does a fantastic job. But I think it's probably hyped a little too much, and people will pay a considerable amount of money that I don't think they have to. But is it a good option to use? Well, yeah, they have their basic for $99. They have their $159, the $249, the $369, the $499 one. And those are all great, and they're great options. Don't get me wrong, and it's a great system to utilize. But is there something better? Well, I'm always on the lookout for places to utilize for traffic, especially when it comes to press releases and things of that nature. And the one company that I tend to like is I believe it's called WebWire. And WebWire is the same as PR Web in very many respects. It's a different service entirely, of course, but the objective and the idea is more simple. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of writing a press release because I think that there's a lot of free places and great places online that will give you that information. It's not very difficult in order to outline a press release. But what I am going to talk about is the type of press releases and why each one has its importance and why you don't want to always just use the same thing again and again and again. First of all, with PR Newswire on the right-hand side, what you're going to notice is that they have what they call a web post. And this web post, 90% of the time, I'll say, 90% of the time, what most of you want to do is you just want to get it posted and starting to get some traffic to you, which means you want to get in Google News, MSN News, Yahoo Search, and places like that. And so that $24.95 option is something a lot more financially palatable that you can use rather consistently without worrying about spending a bunch of money. But maybe once a month, you want to spend $25 and promote your product, your service, and that would be a great way to do it. That would be fine. Another way to do this is the web release, which is their next option up, which is the $99 option. And honestly, between the two, I wouldn't probably choose the $99 option ever. I would only choose the $24.95 for what it does. Now, at this point, though, when we start changing the game a little bit, between the top section up here, that's in the green on the right, and the blue section on the right, the blue section is your more serious press release. And this is targeting reporters. This is targeting trade publications. That at $95, that's your most basic targeted media distribution. That is an amazing deal. It is incredible as far as the price goes. And then to go even up further from that, and I'll just read you what it says here because it makes it easier and I don't screw it up. Broadly distribute your press release over traditional wire services over the internet to newspapers, magazines, periodicals, publications, broadcasters, and trade journals. Plus, your release will be archived in PR Newswire's award-winning media-only website. So the second options, both these two options, are both submitted through PR Newswire, which is one of the largest press release companies that there is in existence. And if you went directly to PR Newswire to do this, it would cost you a fortune. It would absolutely cost you a fortune. I don't even think you can do it as an individual. I think you have to do it as a company. But these pricings here are absolutely incredible. And again, in comparison between the two, the 95 and the 148, I personally don't see that much of a difference, and I would choose the $95 option, oddly enough. I may try the $148 option and see if it makes a difference in the amount of traffic that I get. But for the most part, I would simply do it. Now, there are so-called free press release services out there, but to be honest, I mean, they do work, and you can do a search for them. You'll find a ton of them. Except the reality is, in a press release, you're going to get the best solution. You're going to get the best response from utilizing a press release service, such as a WebWire or, and again, their advanced option, the PR Newswire. And the reason why I say that is because this is what real business does. And, I actually hate to say that. I really do. And I'll tell you the reason why I hate to say that. I hate to say that and make that comparison is because, marketing online is certainly a real business. And I know I've been very fortunate to have been involved in it for, many, many years, almost 2 decades now. But the reality is that many people, when they start a business on the internet, they don't look at it as a real business, and they shortcut. They try to shortcut themselves by doing free things, and it doesn't work a lot, and it's a waste of time. And it's not so much that it's the spending of the money; it's the wasting of the time that matters the most. And when you think about how far that we are into the year right now, it's amazing. How fast time goes by when you don't even think about it. It's just another day, another day, another day, another day. Well, the reality is when we are talking about getting something done. We're talking about getting traffic. We don't want to wait. We want it immediately. We want it as quickly as we possibly can. And that's, in many cases, a paid solution. Someone doing something that they are good at. And I'm more than willing to pay for results. And I think you should be too. Again, of course, it has to fit into your budget and it has to be affordable, but it has to fit into the results that you get. It has to have some kind of results. So start small. $24.95, test, track the links, track everything. Targeted media distribution, again, track the links. Media is a tough one to really say, oh, well, I didn't get anything from it. Because mentions, can show up. A lot of times when you're submitting to PR Newswire, do you know that for example, you'd be on all the NBC affiliated websites typically, and again, not all the time, but typically within 48 hours, you're on all the NBC websites across the country, on every single affiliated website, period. And it's awesome. So you can actually get some decent traffic and people linking to you and people contacting you and things of that nature if you do it right, which is utilizing a service. And that's what I would suggest for you, is to utilize a service in order to make that happen. Now, there's one more piece, and we're going to switch back to our PowerPoint here in just a moment. And there's one more piece that we really want to do. And let's just switch back. Now, the one more piece, and I'm going to make a decision right now, is the one more piece I believe that all of you need to understand. And some of you watching this may have access to it, and some of you don't. And that is how to advertise on YouTube, meaning how to utilize video in order to market, to get traffic back to your website. And I created a product called TubeSiphon. And TubeSiphon teaches my particular method in order to do this. It's a real quick product. It's about an hour and 20 minutes or so that we're going to give to everyone in this class to make sure that you guys have that access to that and you understand that system. And because I think it's very important for you to understand it, and I don't want to mix up everything, and that's why we're going to add that as an addition to the whole BYO traffic course itself. So everyone's going to get that new TubeSiphon course that we've recently did. But in conclusion, we've spent literally 3 sessions, now approximately 6 hours together going over various traffic techniques. So now you know. Now you have an idea as far as how to do this. And there's no reason why you can't go out and find all the traffic you want. And you can now start getting traffic immediately, literally today, literally in the next few minutes. It doesn't take very long to do it. But now the next step is really up to you. There's really nothing holding you back at this point. You can look for really complicated solutions, but the reality is there isn't any. Everything is simple, except what a lot of people don't want to accept is that the most basic strategies can be the most effective strategies, and it doesn't have to be complicated in order to be effective. I wish I could say that again. I'm going to have to go back and listen to the recording on that because it's very important. Again, the most basic strategies don't have to be, the most basic strategies can be the most effective strategies. That's really important to understand. And if you understand that, then you're halfway there. And finding more places, that's easy. That's really the easy part. There's a lot of other things that we can do in order to find more traffic and more places to advertise, and it doesn't take very long in order to find these. Really just a few short minutes as far as advertising goes, whether it be PPC, whether it be whatever, ad networks. There's a ton of things that are out there that are waiting for you that you just have to go out and looking and honestly be aware of. As you're surfing the internet, when you see an ad, you start looking at it a little bit differently. You start seeing it and going, I wonder where that ad came from. I wonder who provided that ad. I was in the middle of a webinar the other day and I'm showing somebody something and I'm like, oh, should I really stop? I'm like in the middle of this webinar. Should I stop? Because I really want to know where the ad came from because it was a very unique ad. And I'm like, should I stop? Should I stop? Should I stop? I'm not sure. And I didn't, but I really wanted to. But the fact is that ads are all around us. We just need to find out where they are and be curious. Curiosity is your best friend in finding out new places to advertise that that you may have never found before. And also, a lot of times when we're talking about finding new places, it's a matter of trying them out, just seeing. What if? It's always that what if. I think part of being any kind of business owner is having that inherent question is, what if? What if that worked? What if I could get some traffic from there? And you don't know. You don't know. What works for me may not work for you. But I can guarantee you this, if you understand the principles behind traffic, you can make anything work. And you may be listening to me and you may be hearing me and you may be thinking I'm full of crap. But I'm telling you right now, it's not the tools, it's not even the website that you use for traffic. Most traffic sources are fairly reasonable. If someone has used them before and got some kind of traffic to their website and got some kind of conversion, I can pretty much guarantee that we all can do the same thing. But it's understanding the principle, meaning that part of traffic is conversion. We need to make sure our website converts very well first. Then we can start driving traffic. But now we may have a huge amount of resources available to us to drive traffic. Then the question is, well, which one? Which one's going to be the best traffic that we can buy? Which one's going to be the best traffic method that we can get to that website? It's going to be the most appropriate. Which one can we get the most targeted traffic to that particular website? And then we start making choices. And after a while, you start building up a routine of this is the best traffic. This is the best traffic. This is the best traffic. Oh, I'll never advertise there ever again. And then you might come back there 6 months later and try it again. And guess what? It's okay. It's better. And so we always keep these things in mind as we are building our business and driving traffic to our websites. We need to keep an eye out for everything that we have available. And it's like you're on a constant scavenger hunt. And if you look at it like that, it's kind of fun, really. And I have a great time looking for traffic sources. And, the best thing in the world is that when you understand these principles, you never need traffic. Meaning I shouldn't say you'll never need traffic. You'll never want for traffic again. You always need traffic. And you always need more traffic. But I'm never stuck in a situation wondering, where am I going to get the traffic? Because I'll find a way. I'll do some searching, and it might take me a few minutes, maybe take me a couple hours. But I know enough, and just like I've shared with you, the basic principles that I use in order to find new places to advertise. By going and searching on Google, for example, for ad networks. I may not want the ad network that's 5 years old. I want the ad network that came out in the last 12 months. So by just varying my searches, I can find the latest stuff, the latest information, the latest things that are happening in tools and companies that are out there and start utilizing that. And it's just slight variations to what you're probably doing already that makes a difference. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. And so with this BYO traffic idea is to give you enough ideas to get you started, but then slap you on the butt and put you out there and get you on your own so you can start doing it yourself and start building your lists. And this is all about lists. This is all about bookmarks and saving every place that you go to and creating lists and creating spreadsheets if you need to in order to create your personal traffic treasure chest that you can dive into and go to every time that you need traffic. That's what this is all about. And if you know the basic principle to find it, everything else is easy. It's simple. It's not complicated. And once you learn one or two ways as far as how it works, well, guess what? You'll realize everything works the exact same way. The terms are all the same across the board. Very rarely do you have someone come in and change the terms on you, except, companies like Amazon or Google or Facebook. Other than that, most of them stick with pretty much the same terms. So that makes it easy for you to understand any new company that comes around and for you to understand how to implement a new a new ad into a new company that you literally just signed up for 5 minutes ago. Not that complicated. So now the last step is to simply just go out there and actually start it. That's all you have to do. Just go out there and start it. So again, my name is Armin Morin. I hope you've enjoyed these 3 sessions that we've had together here with the BYO traffic course. And again, we'd love to hear from you. And if you loved what you've seen, please, please, please send us an email to support@arminmorin.com. Send us, again, an email to support@arminmorin.com. Tell us what you thought about the traffic course. Tell us how much it's helped you. We'd love to hear from you. So again, send your email to support@arminmorin.com. And we'd love to hear from you. And again, if you could do that, that'd be fantastic. So again, thank you, everybody. And we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye-bye, everybody.